like people that go years, decades, whatever it is, being told it's just you going through a period. Okay, but what about when I'm not on my period and I'm still experiencing these pains and these difficulties? Like it's not normal. I'm feeling my body go through things that I shouldn't be feeling if I'm a young, happy and healthy person. Like, and that's one thing I got told a lot through my surgery is how young I was and what the risks of surgery were because of that and all that. And it's like, hey, but if this thing exists in me, what does it matter my age if it's gonna hurt me? Like, and my mobility and like, I need to be able to live my life. Yes, I want kids, but I also want to live.
Yeah.
So I need to make the choices that I don't want to be in this pain. It is unbearable.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Daily Humans podcast. I'm Nina.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Kat.
Hi Kat. As you guys have heard, we have a special guest today on this episode. Yesterday was International Women's Day, and we thought there would be no better way than to celebrate than to invite Kat. She's a businesswoman. She's a friend of Ash. She's intelligent, resilient, creative. Welcome to the podcast. Woo!
Yeah.
You're here.
I'm here.
She's here. In physical form.
Yeah.
Next to me.
Yes.
And not late.
And not late. No.
Don't worry about
We were actually on
beforehand.
time for the podcast.
Yeah.
We were early.
How are you feeling, Kat?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for asking. Sorry, I did have to just clip.
That's fine.
No, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great. How are you, Ashley?
Yeah, how are you, Ash?
Moo spectacular. She's got a moo. Do you want to say it? It's her business.
Ash loves my cow. So
I love the cow so
let's
much.
show the cow.
Show the cow.
Yes.
Do you have to describe it if people can't?
So this is a cow, a cute cow. You know Lilo and Stitch? Think of it like that Stitch, but a cow. Cuter form. Look at
Yes,
this.
it's part. Is this a new drop? A new merch drop?
No, this is one of my.
Oh, look, there's Joker too.
Sorry.
I don't know if they
Yes.
can see it.
I'm sorry. Is that better?
Look at it. Sign it. Signature it. Think about it.
No, this is one of the older designs actually, but it is one of my favorites and I love it so much. It's the cutest. It's
Awesome.
like my little cow having a hot cocoa. It's called my cocoa cow.
My
It's
cocoa
very
cow.
serenity.
Yeah. It's got little steam coming up from the hot chocolate, like super cute.
I love it. It's amazing. I'm definitely getting one.
Meditation video.
Oh, there is t-shirts and jumpers, so you know I
Yes.
will keep the range.
There it goes to Germany. It's already off. We're just so you hear the phone's right here. She's currently ordering it for you.
Yeah, I've already placed an order. The second Cat came on because I was like, that's the most amazing jumper I've seen in my entire life. I love cows as well. So another thing you and I have in common, and to anybody out there, the Joka apparel is in Australia, but as you've heard, they ship worldwide. So if you guys want to place an order, in the description below will be the website.
It's got such different designs too, which is what I love about it. Her and Joey are so creative. And the name as well. Where'd you get the name from?
It's just our names.
Exactly. It's their names.
Joey, Cat, Joka.
I love it.
You guys ask if it's like because we're like
Batman lovers.
yeah, or jokers, or like it just worked.
They love Batman as well.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Very Joker Harley vibes. Love the whole. Don't love it, to be honest. It's toxic, but it's interesting. It's fun to watch.
Terms and conditions.
I gotta ask you a question, Kat.
Yeah.
Which Joker do you prefer, Heath Ledger or Joaquin Phoenix?
That's a good question.
It's hard. It's different times. I am biased and want to say Heath Ledger because you can't disrespect. It was his last role, like, and he did it amazing.
Yeah.
I did like the new Joker movie though, but I haven't seen the one with Lady Gaga. So,
Yeah.
but I did like his movie.
Yeah.
I also don't make decisions very well. So, next question. No.
Honestly, I would actually love to hear, if you can, describe some of the designs that you guys have put on your t-shirts and jumpers, because they are, I have the old man tee.
Yes. Well, it's funny, not that one particular, but a lot of them are based around our lives. So, for instance, the van is like we used to have a camper van. And that was a very big part of our lives, obviously. And then we have like my dog is one of the t-shirts as well. I do have to get more of my dogs up there because I had a dog that has passed who I want to get into the collection. But I've got two other very characterized crazy hounds that I need to get up as well. What else is there? My croc gnome, because our gnome is like our mascot, which needs to be a bit more publicized because we've designed him and haven't brought him out because I'm very particular about how I want him to be shown. But that's kind of a teaser into him, and that we wear Crocs all the time. And that's why it's green, because he's like a green gnome. Sorry.
Crocs should hire you guys.
Honestly, they should, because I
see Joey in them all the time.
He wears them out, like, and the problem with him and his Crocs is he always electrocutes me. Like, the rubber, it feels the friction, especially on like fake grass or carpet. Like, he kicked me once, and it was just like, and I was like,
electric fire.
It's very dangerous, honestly. They need like a buffer or something.
You could write a romance book, and it could be like the electrified. What are they called? Crocs.
Zappy, like.
Zappy, that's the really bad thing to put in there too. This is my Zappy man.
Doctors and nurses wear them a lot because it's like, imagine dealing with patients and you're going to.
They wouldn't need to use the heart thing. They would just.
That. Seriously. But yeah, it's a lot of little bits into our actual lives and our friends and just our interests, like the cows. I just love cows. A lot of people love cows.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good for marketing.
I'm the old man tee.
Yeah.
That's what they made for me.
That's
I love
awesome.
it. Thank you.
If you have any ideas, let me know. We'll see what I come up with.
Plenty.
Ashley has so many ideas, even for our own merch drop eventually that will happen. And I can tell you she's a fountain of ideas. So if you ever need inspiration, just talk with her some more.
Honestly.
Not normal shit either. We're talking like the quirkiest, quackiest out there. I'm making sure that it's unique and different, and it has to be.
Yeah.
So that when I die, right, all this uniqueness and quackiness will be spread out everywhere. Just sprinkle like that. What does that guy does? What's the guy? The Salt Bay. There's a bit of quirky there. There's a bit of quack there.
I love it. That's the problem with running your own business and doing your own things. It's the ideas. It's knowing like which ones to dive into and throw out there, which ones to like just let be an idea. Like I have so many notes of just all my thoughts because it's like if you don't write it down, you miss the opportunity. But it's not always the right time for certain opportunities. So it's like, it's always nice to have it somewhere to be like, oh, that's a really good idea. And that's a really good time to launch that. Like, you know, so it's the patterns. Got to have the ideas and the patterns.
If someone wanted to open up their own business with this, right, what was the process like for you to do this with just you two?
Well, you start with the idea, and then from there you work out the logistics. Is it feasible? Is it realistic? Is it achievable? And you just kind of dive in as much as you can into it without, you know, ruining yourself, I guess, in a sense, just being smart about it, looking into your options, whether you want to drop ship it. Oh my gosh. Drop ship it. Or whether you want to do it completely yourself or whether you want to buy bulk or do like it depends all these different avenues that you can take And I guess in this day and age, it's a lot easier because you have so much information and access to that and ways to go around everything. So really, you just get an idea, you dive into it and, you know, set your timelines. If by this point it's not where you want it to be, see if there's anything you can change at the moment, see if it's not going to work right now, and just work out if it's the right avenue to be taking at that time, or if there's better times to do it, or if there's other things you could be focusing your energy on in a better way.
Yeah.
Like it's just really being disciplined in that sense and not wasting too much time on things. Especially when it's your own work. Like I tend to be a perfectionist. For instance, the mascot. Like sometimes you just have to get the ball rolling and then, you know, that can be a launch later at a later date or whatever. So it's just knowing where to be disciplined and where you can kind of go further into it. So yeah.
I think that that's actually really amazing even to just listen to, because I'm currently writing a book, a poetry book that I've been kind of working on for the last few years of my life, honestly. And I am also a perfectionist. So to what you spoke about with designs and such, it's like you look over every single thing, and for me personally, something that I struggle with is like, is it right? Is it not? I always feel like I can work more on it. So how do you get to a point where you're like, okay, this is the best as it's ever going to be. I'm going to release it, and I'm not going to like keep hovering and keep it like to myself. I'm going to actually share it with the world. How do you get to that point? Like, do you have any advice? Because I could definitely use it.
Poems are very personal though. So I think with that, it's like people that write music. It's very creative, it's very individual, it's very like it's a bigger thing. I think it's more personal.
Yeah.
So in that regard, you'll know when the timing's right, you know, because it will feel right. It'll be like my words need to be heard for this instance. Like and if you think about like the Mona Lisa, how long that took to write, he just carried it on him for how long, and he just bit by bit got it going. And then when it was finally at the state, he was like, okay, cool. It's one of the most famous paintings.
Yeah.
So you'll know when the time's right, because that's your personal writings. They're things you can't rush. It's when you have the inspiration. It's when you're not in a writer's block, and your timeline kind of just goes with your own thoughts. You'll feel, oh, I want it to be out there. This is the right time to do it. Like it connects to this part of my life that I'm growing into right now, you know? Or it's a chapter that I've closed in my life and I'm ready to let it out into the world and have it heard. Like I think it can go either way. You either go full into it or you take your time with it, but you know the moments to be disciplined in it. You know the moments to release or to hold back. And it's not always going to be the right decision, but that's okay as well. Like it's just how you live your life. You just try and do what you think is right. You make the choices that you hold to your heart, and then everything else just falls into place anyway. You can only control yourself. So you go from there, I guess.
That's amazing. That's incredible. That's a mic drop moment.
Oh my God, sorry. Thank you.
We need a mic for these moments to actually drop. Can't drop these mics.
Just drop the pen.
Just drop the pen.
You probably didn't even hear that on.
Just do it close like ASMR.
You love you.
Oh no, you couldn't hear it.
No. All that.
You can hear a dog barking, but it can't hear a pen dropping on paper. Discrimination.
Just wait till you can drop it again.
It's a crappy mic. I tried ASMR with it. It doesn't work.
That's a burn to put on hold for now, though.
100%.
You're a better mic for that.
But in terms of journeys, though, I will have to say that, and it's not bias either, because even though we've been friends for a long time, I generally love unique designs.
Yeah.
And I cannot say it enough how much I love how unique their clothing is.
Yeah.
The designs on the clothing.
Thank you so
It's really unique.
They're so fun to make, to be honest. Like sometimes you get an idea and you just keep working with that same idea until you finally get an image and you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Like some of them are so funny.
I should have got my old man tea out.
Yeah, we can do that.
Do you want to grab it? It's in the cupboard.
Yeah, you want me to grab it?
Yeah, we'll show it. They got to see it. They got to see the old man tea.
Our old man design.
It's probably louder.
So sorry, I have mouse voice. This is our old man design. Yeah, he's got some pretty intense eyes, cool hat, nice little bow tie, very sleek, a little bit of that moonlight background for effect.
It looks absolutely amazing.
It's like a piece of art, to be honest. I would frame that in my house.
Yeah.
It's got the depth of like a lot of layers, you know.
I'm glad you'd frame it because I'm not gonna lie. If I had this on my wall,
a little bit scary, but like kind of cute for Halloween, maybe. You know, just a misunderstood man. Kind of cute, kind of confusing. Sweet though.
He seems like a nice guy.
This is my shirt. And honestly, it was the first thing that I actually brought from their business. This was the first one.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, why not? Because look at him. This is a whole new character. You could write a book. You could write a thriller book and put him in it.
Yeah.
Or the misunderstood man, right? Listen to my idea.
Judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, the misunderstood man. So he's actually a really lovely man, but people think that he's not.
Yeah.
And the book is his journey, and he's a superhero, he's a hero, and he wears the Joker hat, and that's his identity.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to add me into like the inspiration for this book thing. You can,
We'll just have you wearing the shirt as the
I'll just be there.
You added a backstory. I love that.
But just to say, fellow friends listening, it's just really good to support people in their creativity and their arts and their designs. So, as I said, it's not about bias because she's my friend. It's just about the fact that look how creative this is.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, people create, like human beings created this, and why not show it? Why not share it with people? So, if you're interested, it will be in our description.
Yeah.
Take a look, support a small business, and yeah, Joker apparel.
Yeah.
It's always so much better. I don't know if you two feel the same way, but it feels so good to be able to support small businesses because you know where the money is going. You know who is supported by it and who gets helped by it. So
definitely.
Round of applause, Kat. Great job.
Good job, Joey, if you're watching this. Joey and Kat.
Yes, it is a partnership, but I will take all credibility.
Respect to the ball.
Word. Credit.
You'll
I
take
don't need
credit.
ability.
Yeah.
You know? Just credit.
Yeah.
You'll take the credit. I'll take the boss. I'm the boss.
Mm.
Well, you are a woman on a mission, so.
Mm-hmm. Mm. And running a business is already such a huge challenge, but doing so while also managing a chronic health condition adds to an entirely different layer to the journey. Kat, you've been very open about your experience with endometriosis, and I know it's something that affects so many people, yet is still so widely misunderstood. I don't know if you would like to talk about it, but would you like to share a bit of your journey with endo and maybe talk about how you came to find out that you had it?
Yeah. So earlier on in 2014, that is when I first got on the pill. And then 5 years later, I decided I didn't want to be on the pill anymore. I wanted to start getting my body ready naturally and feeling how it should feel and getting ready for the future, wanting kids and wanting to get pregnant eventually. I was like, I want it all to kind of balance out before I actually try to start a family. And in doing that, I went through the whole process of realizing that the pill was actually saving me from the endo, because once I got off it, I started having like insane cramping, not even just period cramping areas. Like I would feel it almost like a stabbing pain going up my rectum, like, and just a belt pain that kind of surrounded my whole lower back and front of the stomach. And it was just this unbearable pain that I couldn't stop. And it was definitely worse when I would go through my cycles and have my period. But even without that, there would be so many moments that I'd just get like a shooting pain and drop to the floor, or I'd be driving and I'd get a stabbing pain and I'd have to stop driving because the pain was too unbearable. And so, really dangerous situations like those would occur. And also, just at work, I remember I would always have a heat pack on, especially throughout my period and stuff. So, I tried to push through a lot of the time, um, because you get so in your head about it. And especially when you do go and ask, is there something wrong? And you get told no. In a lot of cases, that is what happens, and it happens for a long time. Luckily for me, even though it was a bit of time, I do think I've had a shorter road than most people. Like you hear so many cases where it takes years and years and years. And yes, it took a few years for me, but I've also had the surgery already and found out I was diagnosed, I think, in 2021. And I think so. I think 2021. And then the whole process kind of happened pretty quickly, in my opinion, compared to cases I've heard. So I think in that sense, I've been very fortunate, but it still is something that kind of gets ignored, and it didn't happen straight away for me either. I did get told, we don't know what's going on. It's not normal what you're going through, but I can't find anything to diagnose it. And then I finally got to see one doctor, and she was very thorough and she was very like attentive, and she would follow up everything, and we'd do multiple appointments a week if need be. And she referred me to the Mercy. And from there, it just, every year I would get something checked, or I'd get appointments throughout the years and just do checkups and scans and whatnot. And it wasn't until March, oh, sorry, this is when I got diagnosed, March 2023. March 2023, I had gotten back from a holiday, and I woke up one morning and I went to go to the toilet, and then I went to get back in bed. And as I went to get into the bed, I had the most excruciating pain, worse than any pain I've had, worse than any endo pain I've suffered, worse than any irritable bowel syndrome, just the worst pain imaginable, on like where my right ovary kind of sits. Mm-hmm. The pain was so bad that I remember a numbing feeling going up my right body into my shoulder and my arm, and I couldn't talk. Like I was trying to tell my partner, like, I need help right now. I don't know what's going on. Call the ambulance. And as soon as I said call the ambulance, he knew it was serious, because I am pretty resilient when it comes to pain tolerance. And he said it's the worst pain he's ever seen me in. And it got to about 9 a.m. Not the hospital, the ambulance have called 2 or 3 times saying we can't get someone out to you. He's called saying my partner's having cramping pains, like really intense pains. They've said, oh, we can't get an ambulance out to you. Trying to get me to talk to them. He's trying to explain I can't talk because of how severe the pain is. And they called a few times and just said, oh, well, if you can get to a doctor's, that's great. At the time, I was upstairs. I did not think I was getting down the stairs. I did not, like, I needed them to come because there was nowhere I was getting myself down the stairs. And then it got to a certain point. I was in the shower. I've got the cold water on me. It's the only thing that's kind of helped. But even then, like, it didn't do much. And then eventually the pain kind of faded. And because of that, and because of my mentality, I was like, okay, well, now I'm fine. We've got a really busy day. Let's go do what we had to do today. It gets to like 6 p.m. I'm like, I'm still feeling a bit tight. Let's go to the hospital. Like I wasn't in the pain, but I was like, okay, I'll be cautious. I did call my friend who's a nurse and explain the situation, and I did my own Google research, and what we could think it was gallstones. And I was like, well, that's bad. So that should get checked anyway. Um, and so we go to the waiting room, and I see someone across from me very clearly having similar pains, like period looking pains, but so intensely they like drop into the floor, they're screaming, and they sat there for hours in that pain. And I just watched them across from me. And so that was very confronting because it's obviously something that happens to a lot of people. And, you know, I don't know for sure that that's what she was going through, but just based on what I saw, it looked very familiar to me. And then eventually I get in and they do some ultrasounds and all that. And I've let them know like pain's gone, but it's building up again. Like it's pretty sore in this area. And when they come back to me, they say, "Oh, we found a 9 centimeter cyst." And my partner just goes, "Oh, that's big." And the nurse replies, "Yeah, especially of someone this size because I'm only 150 centimeters." So to have that sitting there in my lower abdomen or on my ovary, it's a pretty drastic size, sorry. And that's when they kind of confirmed that I do have endometriosis, and I had been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome earlier. And with endometriosis, that is a common thing that happens because obviously that area is kind of in itself and everything's kind of pushing. So that explained that as well. And that's when I was actually diagnosed. Oh, and they had told me that the pain I experienced when I was upstairs, when I woke up that morning, was likely that my ovary had flipped on itself and twisted. And it's luckily reverted back to its spot. But the endos obviously pushed my ovary over, which could have been how it moved in the first place because it's pulled from my right side to my left side. And they could see it looked like it was about 4 centimeters attached to the bowel as well. So it was like everything's kind of just been pulled to one side, which would explain the pain. The cyst itself is 9 centimeters, taking up a lot of room, hiding one of my ovaries, and what they thought was connected to the bowel as well. So it was a big thing happening in a very small person. And from there, it definitely got easier because I, for the first time, realized it's not in my head. Like it is real. What I'm feeling does hurt and it does exist. And me trying to ignore it for so long is not helping it. I should listen to my body and I do feel it and it's right there. And it explains so much. Like it was such a realization and just like a weight off my shoulders of I'm not just creating this brain chain that's sending to my body telling me there's something wrong when there's not. There is something wrong and it's finally come out. And that was a very big moment for me, I guess, because obviously after going so long being like, maybe I've made this pain up, maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, maybe my tolerance is lowering, like it was a very nice thing to hear as well as a horrible thing to hear, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And then from there, yeah, it just kind of got easier from there because I knew it wasn't in my head and I knew that it could get better, even if things got harder. Like if it was harder for me to have kids, if it was harder for me to be physical or move around and stuff, if I was going to have moments of not being able to get out of bed, I knew that it would get better because there was something there now, and they knew that there was ways to kind of handle that. But in saying that, there's also not a lot of information. So when I did first find out, I didn't really know what it was or what to do or what. Like I thought maybe because they kept saying like you're young, we don't want to do surgery, and that was scary because I didn't understand what the risk of surgery was. and why they wouldn't want to do it if it's because I think with surgery, they generally don't do it unless it's 4 centimeters or bigger. And mine was double that. So that was confusing for me. And then eventually it finally got to the point that we could book it in. And that was also scary because I'd never had a surgery before that. So, and then in that time, I ended up having a surgery for my finger getting jammed in a door. I ended up having a local anesthetic. Then I had a surgery before that because there was another growth in the same area, which also didn't help all the problems happening in the one area. To then back to back from that surgery, then go under general anesthetic and do my first major surgery to then come out of that. So it was a really big thing in a short time once it kind of got going. And then from there, it has been better, which is amazing. But, it's not perfect. And I still have pains and I still have moments. And now being so they had me on the pill to kind of help minimize the cyst or like stop it growing further while I was waiting for surgery, which was a 12-month wait, basically. And in that, you're going through changes already. So the hormones and like the emotional state and just dealing with the disease itself and all the levels that come with that. It was just such a very big thing while trying to work, while trying to do all the things you have to do in life and not having the energy or the strength most days. It was just a very big roller coaster that you're just not really expecting because, especially in my case, to hear it had gone so drastic, like from me just being on the pill my whole teens, early adulthood, to then getting off the pill and having this big thing build up to then finally be told, oh yeah, there is a big problem now. And it's going to take about a year to fix that. If that. And then I forgot where I was going with that, to be honest. I feel like I've just gone all into the whole thing without like.
That's fine.
No.
Completely.
Yeah.
And, being, I don't want to say misdiagnosed, but just kind of always being told, oh, everything is fine. When you do seek help, it can be so defeating. And for you to find out, like you said, in such a, not a short time, because you did go through a lot and you have experienced so much pain that is so unimaginable for many people, and then being told, oh no, beforehand everything is fine, and then you're going through that. I can imagine the thoughts that run through your mind. And our health affects us in so many ways, physically but also mentally and emotionally. So I'm proud of you for being able to know now what this is and having gotten help and getting continued treatment for it. But my question to you is, you said knowing what this is now has helped in a certain way, but is there anything currently along your journey while you're getting treatment, while you're having this managed, that you would say has impacted your mental and emotional well-being with endometriosis?
I think the biggest thing is the hormones. So like I was on the pill and that in itself changed my hormones, and now I'm on the Mirena IUD. And that I think was the biggest thing, even after surgery, the hit of the hormones and the chemicals changing while your body's already gone through so much trauma is like insane. Like even now, it's like I could burst into tears and it's like I'm fine. But just the feeling of it all inside and everything changing. And then when you do have a bad day or a bad week, it just intensifies it. Like that's the biggest struggle I have with it is because like I've done a lot of self growth in that regard with anxiety and depression, and getting to a good place where mentally I feel stronger and healthy. But then to have all that kind of change because something's in me that is helping my body, but it is also changing so much when it's already gone through a lot of change. That's probably the biggest thing I struggle with is the hormones. And I don't know how that will go, like when I remove that, to then try and look into having kids and stuff like that. How like the drop of that out of my body will go compared to like how I feel right now. If that makes sense. Like it's a lot of feelings.
If you want to talk about it, what was it like hearing the diagnosis for you mentally, mental health wise?
I think I laughed, to be honest, because I was like, it was such a moment of, okay, so I'm not crazy. It exists. It is something that we can maybe do something about, maybe not permanently, maybe not overall, but it's something that can be managed a little bit better, and something that, you know, in some cases, yes, it does make it harder to have kids and stuff. But I also can't stress about that. My biggest thing is my stress, because the whole time when I didn't know what it was, I was like, okay, but if it is nothing and you're just making it up, you need to not stress about it, because the stress itself is going to create whatever is going on in your body. And then to finally hear it was something, like, good, that now that I know it is something, then I don't need to stress, because it exists, it's real. And when I feel it, I know to pull back a bit more, not to push myself, because it is real and you can hurt yourself. And like, you have to acknowledge that it is there and you're not crazy. It did help knowing it was something. But then there was a little bit of me that was like, okay, well, maybe now kids is not in the cards for me. And that was a big mental challenge I had, because I was like, well, that's something I can't control, and getting stressed about it and getting worried about it is definitely not going to help it happen. And so it helped me relax a bit more, even though it also added stress to me. But mentally, like I could overcome that, because I was like, there are avenues, and if for some reason it doesn't go the way I want it to go, then that's fine. There's so many cases, you know, where it doesn't work out when you're trying, and then the second you stop, things just fall into place. So I was like, I'm not going to add this pressure for something I cannot control. The only thing I can control is how I feel about it. And so mentally, I did get stronger in that regard. But with the hormones and stuff, I definitely have days where I will just break down and get in my head, or I will not be as mentally strong as I want to be. But overall, my mental health is probably the best it's ever been, because I'm not as emotional, which for someone who is very highly emotional, to acknowledge that I'm not as emotional is a really big thing, because you'd think through all this, it would just get worse. But in myself, I'm like, if I let it get worse, it will get worse. So I've pulled myself back in that regard and really tried to stay mentally strong, so that my body that's healing can actually have the time to heal. Because if I mentally go down, everything's going down anyway. So that was a big thing once I found out, I guess, that I had to kind of overcome, is not to get in my head, which I normally do. And just kind of ride the waves and do as much research as I can.
Yeah.
Without deep diving into a rabbit hole as well. Like just having the limits of where I can and can't go to mentally be strong and physically help my body through this whole process. Yeah.
Just, gosh, it's hard to talk about, because I can relate, not with endometriosis, but with my own health struggles that I've had in the past. And having the mental resilience to go through that takes a lot. And I'm glad to hear that your mental health is doing good, because like you said, you're absolutely right. When your brain goes down, everything else follows with it. So the fact that you're here today and you're doing what you're doing, and you are who you are, and you're present with the people in your life and in your business and everything that you do, is amazing. And I really need you to know that you need to be proud of yourself for that, because it takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength. And even wanting to become a mom, completely understandable. I'm sure, things will continue to go in a good way as long as you focus on what you can control and do what's best for you. And I'm incredibly proud of you. We just met today, but I'm incredibly proud of you.
I'm so proud of you, Nina.
Thank you.
You too, Ashley. Sorry. You do.
I'm enjoying.
Tried it enough.
I'm enjoying the exchange. Now you can start talking, Jen. I'll just be here watching.
You're just like a watcher. You're a live guest.
I'm just happy to be here. That's just me. I'm like, no matter what gets said. I thought the other episode, that Nina called me pathetic and poetic.
No.
That's what I thought she said, right? And when she said it, I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, on a t-shirt, honestly.
And she's like, no. I said, what did you say again?
Prophetic.
Prophetic.
Prophetic and poetic.
Yeah. But it was a vibe. Pathetic and poetic.
I know, when you have that like good connection and you're constantly building each other up, it's like even an insult can sound good. Like
that's absolutely
it's all
that's
about
the
how
best
you
description.
It's how you take things. Nothing can hurt you unless you allow it to hurt you, mentally.
Yeah, Nina could literally say you're an idiot. I'd be like,
thank you.
Love you.
Never. I would never say that.
So true, because oh god, hearing stuff like that used to be so difficult. But then when Nina said it, I was like,
thank you so much.
That is poetic. I think I said that too. That's poetic.
Get it in writing. Yeah. Why not?
Oh my geez. That's a good tattoo. I'll get it down this arm to match this one that I don't like. This one here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that though. Very, very good.
Very poetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As poetic as strong Mumu this one is. Truly.
I do like words.
You're incredibly strong.
100%.
Yeah.
I had to ask her to be a guest on this podcast. I had to, especially in such a journey that is so, and I don't know if you can also comment on this as well. The stigmatization of endometriosis. I can never say the
That's
word.
That's why everyone says endo. I swear, it's a tongue twister.
Endometriosis.
Yeah.
The stigmatization towards that, because it's been so not prioritized in the lives of women. But also too, and I want to add this really quickly, because I don't know if you both knew this, right? Baldness in men is researched more than endo.
Wow.
Did you know this? Baldness in men. And the reason why they research it a lot more. I wrote this down for you all. I'm gonna reiterate this because I have to, because I was fuming when I read this, right? Baldness in men, especially male pattern baldness, is studied more extensively than endometriosis. There is a large body of research dedicated to understanding what did I write here? Its causes compared to endo. So there's a lot more dedicated research to baldness than something as debilitating as endo. And that infuriates me. Because I don't know what it's like, but for something to be debilitating people to the point of bringing in more potential physical health conditions, as well as continuous not being able to work, not being able to function and do, it's infuriating. It's really infuriating for women. So I think that's my question to you as well, is stigmatization. Do you have any experiences with it or knowledge on sort of the extent of it?
I think in regards to that, people can see baldness. People can't see endo necessarily.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's a big thing. A lot of people are very naive to things that they can't physically see. So, for example, with endo, a lot of the time people say they couldn't diagnose because they weren't able to see it. But my endo was diagnosed because of a cyst they found on an ultrasound. And obviously other symptoms connecting the dots. But I think that's a funny thing because it's like baldness is like a very obvious thing. You can see I'm losing my hair. You can see the patches coming out. But with endo, it's like, oh, women have periods. It's just cramping and stuff. But that's the thing. Women do have that. They were built to like go through that for generations and generations and generations. Why would they not be able to handle that? Like it shouldn't get to a point of them not being able to tolerate it or them like they're not complaining about something. Women also have a higher pain tolerance than than men. So why would they not be able to handle something they were built to go through? It is not just their body giving them a hard time because they haven't fallen pregnant, because that is the purpose of the reproductive system, is to reproduce. But it is very obviously something that exists. It is something that for some reason people have gone through for so long. How is there not more research on it? And like, for example, right now I'm part of a study, and the reason I've become part of the study because I don't have an extensive, like broad range of knowledge on endo, to be honest. I was diagnosed later. I had the surgery quite quickly after diagnosis compared to most cases. And I just know information that I've been given, little bits that I've been told, or experiences I've witnessed through friends, or, you know, like Bindi Owen's case and stuff like that. Just things I've kind of picked up on the way. And so I decided to do the study because they told me during it's a way to get more awareness and more knowledge of it so that the research is actually there, the statistics are actually there. So why would I not do that? It might not help my case today, but it will help someone's case along the way. And I think that's what's important. The more we do talk about it, the more we do get it out there, it is slowly going that way, that more people are aware of it. You know, and there are different kinds of diseases, not just endo. There's other variations that affect the same kind of areas and affect women in different ways. And there's so many different things that I'm now learning about after having this experience by talking to people about it. And I think that is the best way to get the information out there. And eventually times will change with that. The movement will happen where like March is now Endo Awareness Month.
Yeah.
Yellow is the color for endo awareness, and it's within the same month. I don't know if you can see it's yellow. And then it's in the same month of National Women's Day, which was yesterday, which this is not going to be aired today though. So I don't know how to do the math on that, on the dates, but
it's okay.
Yeah. You know when National Women's Day is anyway. But I think that's like, it's amazing that all these things are kind of coming into play and slowly will eventually build into something bigger and give more people information, have more resources, and have the right ways to detect it. Like, for example, with my way of that it got detected, it might be different for some other people. I honestly don't know how everyone's cases, like Bindio and had 37 lesions. I had a 9-centimeter cyst. Like, eventually, the more people talk about it and the more research they do and the more people that come out with, I'm not just going through period pain, I am feeling something that is so much more than something, and something I should be able to handle is like not manageable. Eventually, the research will hopefully be there and the help will be there. More importantly, people shouldn't have to feel those things for too long. Like people that go years, decades, whatever it is, being told it's just you going through a period. Okay, but what about when I'm not on my period and I'm still experiencing these pains and these difficulties? Like, it's not normal. I'm feeling my body go through things that I shouldn't be feeling if I'm a young, happy and healthy person. Like, and that's one thing I got told a lot through my surgery, is how young I was and what the risks of surgery were because of that and all that. And it's like, okay, but if this thing exists in me, what does it matter my age if it's going to hurt me? Like, and my mobility, and like, I need to be able to live my life. Yes, I want kids, but I also want to live.
Yeah.
So I need to make the choices that I don't want to be in this pain. It is unbearable.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they do a lot more research, and it kind of, all the awareness helps, and everything just kind of gets it
We need
moving
it.
forward. Yeah. And I think it is
Yeah.
getting better. You know, a lot of people I've told I've got endo, it's there a lot of the time they're not like, oh, what is that? Like, a lot of people have heard of it before now, which I'm finding.
Good.
Yeah. So.
I mean, the history of women's bodies is just, it's proof. I mean, in 2013, Italian doctors released a research study rating the attractiveness between endo sufferers. Yeah. It took them 7 years to take that down too, may I just say. Yeah, so they actually put the different various diagnosis of endometriosis, because apparently there's different ones, and rated the attractive level of who's most attractive to who's least, and actually published that to society. And they also too didn't see a problem with it. When the public was outraged by it, they didn't see a problem. They were like, I don't understand why everyone is in an upheaval over this. And it's like, well, because your research isn't to benefit the study and the awareness and the cause, exactly. It's just for the look aspect, because you don't actually care about health, in my opinion. If you're just focused on how people look and that aspect, it's ridiculous to me. So when I found that out, I was like, of course, it just doesn't surprise me with human beings. Everything is look based, not the, like I said, the debilitating experience of going through this. So I think it's important to definitely advocate a lot more for the pain that women go through, not just for ourselves, but for even women in certain countries that don't have access to being diagnosed, to pads in general, I should really say, honestly. So doing this study is really good, and even talking more about it is really good too.
Kat, I wanted to ask you, have you noticed a significant difference in your symptoms since surgery?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Since surgery, I've definitely been a lot more mobile. I get adjusting to the merino was difficult, but I feel the effects of it taking place. Like, other than the hormones, you do feel it working to its purpose. I did have a recent call, so I had a follow-up obviously after surgery. I just had my recent call. I am getting still some pains, like belt pains kind of every now and then, definitely not as frequently. So the pain itself has substantially gone down. I can do a lot more day to day. I don't get constant pains every day. There will be weeks at a time, days at a time, depending. Like, I won't feel anything. I'll feel completely normal. But I'm looking to go and see a physio, because I think maybe the alignment of my pelvis has kind of gone out now. And that might be why sometimes I'm getting those additional pains. It may not be endo itself, because obviously the merino should hopefully be stopping that from regrowing, or at least slowing it down a lot. But once I get the physio, I will see from there if that completely goes away, or if I will have to double dose and do the pill as well as the merino while I'm trying to avoid it growing again before looking to get pregnant. So hopefully it is just an unalignment that can get fixed just after everything that's gone down. So fingers crossed.
I wish you a lot of recovery and a lot of good health, truly, because this is a lot to go through, and it can change who you are as a person, but you didn't let it do that. You're continuing on, you're staying strong, you're committed to your goals for yourself and your future. And I love what you said with like, I'm young, but I want to live my life. I want to be able to do things, because that is so important. And I've had that personally in my experience with certain doctors. Like, oh no, you're too young to have this. Oh no. And it's like the age has nothing to do with this. It's the quality of life that's important. So just thank you for being brave enough to not only continue living your life the way you want to and being the person that you want to be for yourself, but also spreading the awareness, because that takes another, I feel like is like another step in the courage level. So another round of applause.
Thank you. So awkward with compliments.
I'm sorry.
No, you're so fun. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Do you have any advice or suggestions for people both with and without endometriosis, and how they can also add to helping raise awareness?
Just speaking about it. If you think something's wrong within yourself, talk to people. Don't be shy. Don't take no. If you know in your body something's wrong, keep going until you get your answer, because you know your body better than anyone else does. You know what you're feeling. You know how you've lived your whole life. And if things change, you're going to be aware of that. I think just constantly have a good network around you. Don't surround yourself with things that aren't going to benefit you or get you to your goals. If there's negative people around you telling you, you know, surely it's not that bad, or surely, like, it is not up to them to decide how you feel or what you're feeling. Surround yourself with love, positivity, de-stress as much as you can, because that is not going to help you. I know it's hard to do, but just mentally, just having that, I guess, mantra every morning, like, oh, I know it's going to be okay. I know I'm okay. Like, adding stress is going to make it worse. Try and pull back on that. Even just saying that is going to help you more than if you just feed into the stress continuously. And yeah, just talking, asking questions, doing the research, word of mouth, all these little steps can go like a long way.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that you brought up about surrounding yourself with people who can support where you're at and how you're feeling, and not, disregard it or put it down and dismiss it. My question to you would be, what or who has been your biggest source in support or of support throughout this journey? Were there specific people, communities, maybe resources that helped you?
I definitely would say my partner, because he was basically along for a majority of the journey. He saw the most difficult times. He comforted me. He never told me it wasn't real. Like, even when I was telling him maybe it's not real, maybe it's in my head, he was reassuring me, like, you're stronger than that. You know that can't be true. Like, I know you, and you don't just drop in pain for no reason. So probably him in that regard, just because he was the biggest part of it. A lot of my friends, though, like Ashley, and even a lot of my male friends actually were very supportive, my very close male friends, which really helped me, because to have someone that wouldn't be able to understand it also reassure me, and someone that could understand it, like, it just having that from all aspects, getting told, yes, you know what you're feeling and you know it's true. And just my doctor, my last doctor, that kind of got me to where I needed to go. If I didn't find her at the right time, like, I don't know how I would have gone. I feel like with her, I was lucky enough to have a shortened journey compared to what could have been if I had a few people telling me, I don't know what to look for. I don't know. Like, she never gave up. She followed up. She continued. She got me to the right place, and she got the problem, resolved as much as it can be, because it is something that can grow back. It is something that you might need to have multiple surgeries for. But she got me to a point that I could survive, like, and I could keep going. So I think that they're my big groups of things along the way. And research itself, I don't know. I feel like I need to do a lot more research still. I feel like that I need to keep going with it myself. So I can't even imagine people that aren't really aware. Like, I definitely don't recommend TikTok if you're going to do surgery. Because when I was getting ready for my surgery, I watched a lot of like post-surgery things, and then I got told, "Oh, I'm on my sixth surgery," and that alone scared the crap out of me because I was like, "What do you mean six? Why is there so many? Like, what happened? Like, how bad was it? How many lesions or what? Like, what made it keep going? Are they not taking anything to kind of try and subsidize it, like birth control, hormones, anything like that? Do they not want kids? Like, there's so many different factors, and just the individual themselves. Like, I know my mum, for example, she had 5 kids, and she thinks that after her 5th kid, her endo finally went away. And it's like, well, that's a lot of times getting pregnant, because getting pregnant obviously helps it. That's the whole reason you go on the pill. That's the whole reason you do the Mirena. That's why you're so pumped with all these hormones, is to try and tell your body there's a baby, it is safe. Like, you don't need to try and do these things. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot more I could learn, but I'm happy where I'm at right now, and I'm happy to start talking about it and getting it out there so that I can learn more as well as we go on.
That's what's
Because there
important.
is so many different experiences. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's so important that you're okay with where you're at. And like you said, going online and researching, even through TikTok, while it can help a lot of people, I've heard stories where they're like, no, I've gotten my diagnosis thanks to TikTok, but I am a big advocate for just like be mindful of how much on the internet you find your information sometimes, because it can be a shock to the system. But what advice would you give now that you're on the other side of your surgery to someone who's preparing for the same surgery?
Going back to your last question as well, I do want to thank one of my friends
Mhm,
from school. She
mhm,
had gone through the surgery, and I had seen that a while ago. And so I reached out to her before my surgery, just being like, hey, I'm starting to get a bit stressed. I don't know what, like, I've never done a surgery before. I've never been put under. I don't know what to expect. Can I ask you a few questions? And she got back to me and was just like, of course, like, what do you want to know? And I was basically like, everything. um, like recovery, like this, that, and obviously it's going to be different for each individual. But having her kind of walk me through her experience kind of gave me the like, whew, okay, I know kind of what to expect. If it goes any different way, that's fine. I'll be able to handle it. But now I've got a kind of idea of what I'm going into. And that's kind of settled me enough to be like, yep, this is the right decision. I can do it. Mm. So that was the main thing. And then with surgery itself, they called me up and were basically like, hey, you're booked in for this day. And it was like a week after that call. And I was like, yep, cool, let's do it. Like, great. Basically at the 12-month mark, they said it would be about 365-day wait. It was around that, basically, which was good that it didn't get pushed further. So when I went and prepped for my first surgery, they had me fasting. They had me all prepped for it in the scrubs and everything. And it got to like, I think 6 p.m. And then they came and told me it's not happening. And that was the hardest thing to hear, mainly because I had not eaten.
mhm,
Um, and being on the pill and then being fasted is not a very good mix for me. I need to eat. And then I'd obviously been sitting there all day, freezing, trying not to sleep. Like, just, I had the biggest headache as well, probably from not eating and just not being able to sleep because of how nervous I was for the surgery. I had the most painful headache the whole time, and they come at 6 o'clock and they're like, it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, there's another case that's gone over and they're not going to be able to fit you in today. We've tried to move it around and see if we can fit you in. It's not going to happen today. I ate my 4 hospital sandwiches so fast and then just sat there, waited for the surgeons to come and speak to me directly. Mm-hmm. And they came about 20, 30 minutes after that. And that was fine. It wasn't fine, but it was fine. Mm-hmm. I had to deal with that. But luckily, I got in about a week after that. And because of them sending me home, I basically got in straight away. It was like I got priority. It was like, yep, get her in, get her done, cool. And so that was good, even though I had to get dismissed one more time. And I just remember like getting in there, everyone was very talkative. They were pretty like good at explaining what was going to happen, what I'm going to go through, what I might be feeling. I did a pre-check previously to make sure if I would need physio or anything after the fact. They were pretty confident that I would be able to handle the recovery, which also helped reassure me and was nice to hear. And then once I'm going into the surgery room, I just remember having a thought while I'm on the table. I'm just like, oh, it's really cold. And then I fell asleep, obviously. They knocked me out. And then when I woke up, I just had this giant, like, puffer blanket thing on me. And I found out it was like they had a heating thing in it. It was to warm me up. So I must have been really cold to the point where they're like, oh, she needs to be like fixed. Like she's like in hypothermia or something. Because like I woke up and they're all trying to talk to me, but like I'm out of it. And they're all trying to talk to me. I don't know what this blanket thing is, but it's so puffy. It's like covering my face and they're trying to talk to me and I'm trying to move it, but I'm freezing and it's trying to warm me up. It was a whole thing. And because I was so out of it, like I don't know what was actually happening. I was just like trying to talk like this with the thing. It was so ridiculous, but like also kind of funny. And that was a nice moment to come to, like, because I was told when I'd wake up, I'd be like, oh, I have no idea where I am and all this. And I was like, no, it wasn't like that at all for me. I was pretty comfortable and even had a little laugh at the blow up heated blanket. So that's kind of how that went. And that was just a funny moment in that. But the recovery itself, it was also kind of funny and bad luck because I had my few days in hospital. Luckily, they kept me a few days longer than they were initially going to because I wasn't ready to go home straight away. I think they do need to maybe extend the time of when you wake up to when you get to leave because it's hard. Like the first few days, I couldn't even get up to go toilet. I had a catheter in, which first thought I was like, no way am I going to be able to do this. Like, how can I just go toilet while I'm sitting in a bed? And then by day 2, I was like, oh my gosh, why don't I do this all the time? Like, I don't have to get up again. Like, this is amazing. I don't even feel it. Like, what? This is wow. And then they took it out and I had to get up for the first time. And that was weird because when I stood up, I felt a shooting pain up my right side again. And I had like PTSD of when I was up the stairs trying to go toilet the first time. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And then luckily there was a doctor there or a nurse there, and they told me it's the gas rising. And that's what the pain is. So that was really painful for gas. And I'll tell you, gas is one of the most painful things as well. Having IBS and going through that experience, gas is such a strong pain that like you would not think it's just like air in your body, but it is so painful when it's moving around in you.
Yeah.
Kills. And yeah, from there it kind of just got a bit easier. Like moving my body obviously was hard, the stretching, tensing my stomach. If I tried to laugh, oh my gosh. But luckily my friend had warned me about that. They said, don't laugh, forget about it because you'll just be crying. And then unfortunately, once I was home and settled, I did move a lot, which they said would be good. The more you move, the better, because obviously your body doesn't do well just laying down. Like I got really bad leg cramps from having my legs flat on the bed the whole time. You can't really turn in and out of bed. It's like very difficult to get up and down, but because you're tensing your abdomen is so fragile after surgery because keyhole. But then towards the end of my recovery, I actually got gastro as well because it went through the house. So that was very funny, not funny. But also, I do think it helped me recover quicker because it forced myself to tense and move me getting up and down to go to the bathroom. So, in hindsight, it probably was harder than it needed to be. It was very unfortunate, but I did survive. And no, I probably wouldn't want to do it again. Didn't love it, but I now know I can do it. And even with the extra hurdles of like getting gastro during, luckily for me, it wasn't as bad as I've ever had gastro. It was probably the least worst gastro, but that could have been because after surgery, it's very hard for you to have bowel movements and just regular bodily functions going as usual. So thankfully, it was not that bad.
Okay.
And it helped me recover quicker. So there you go. But it was quite a big recovery as well. I think they say it's 4 to 6 weeks. And in mine and my friend's case, I think it was like closer to like 6 to 8. 6, you're up and moving again like usual. Driving is the hardest thing to start again because you have to be able to stop. And when you do that, you tense. And the tensing itself is just, it's so internal and it's so slow healing because it's gone through like tubes in there and whatever. But then the scars themselves to also heal. It's all, but it was worth it. And to not feel the pain I was feeling every day to get to this point, if I had to do it again, I probably would. I would, I think. Yeah, I would. I'm not 100% certain, but I think I would. Hopefully, I don't have to. That's the main thing. I don't ever want to get to 6. That would be heartbreaking. Yeah.
I want to ask you as well, do you have anything you'd like to say to those that are struggling to lose?
I knew I'd break you.
And breaking me when I was saying the question.
I know.
I have to be professional. This is a professional podcast. So, is it?
Yeah, got it. I'm not even doing it.
It'll take you long.
Cry. Okay. You can handle it. Give it to me straight. Small. Oh, I've knocked something. Sorry.
Do you remember how things all came up?
I actually use pepper because they're itty bitty friendly.
I really really pepper.
It's itty bitty. It's
You serious?
yeah. It's pepper. No, really
Pepper.
good, comfortable bras. I'm wearing their top right now. It's got built-in padding. It's like a singlet.
Built-in padding. Nice.
Nice.
It's like zipper singlet. But yeah,
We got like $100 for it.
I got on sale, but yeah, they are a bit pricier. But
Yeah,
honestly, so
yeah.
worth it if you've got like
Fake tatties. Well, it's not tatties.
little.
Above.
No, only little.
Only little. What
Itty
about
bitty.
big?
I think you have enough range. Thank you very much.
Surely don't.
You know what I normally have to do? I get like those crop tops for fucking kids. Like,
I promise you. I swear.
and don't you?
Yeah. No, I swear. Yes.
Yeah.
But I swear. We can't free the nipple. We can't free the nip, okay? Because
No.
the nip is down in the below. It's at the ground.
Especially in summer.
So that's one thing we can't. Yeah. Summertime.
Especially in summer. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Bras. Okay, no, this is what I need to say. I need to say this. The wire comes out. This is the one problem that we have is the wire will come out so easily, so quickly. The bra snaps. Also, too, it actually makes it worse for your breasts, having big breasts, because it makes them sag even more. Which who really gives a shit anyway? They're not meant to be perky and in such a fabulous form, so to say. But yeah, I struggle to find. Actually, you know what? I just want to say this to you. Go onto Kmart or Big W and type in double D16. See what's available. Because I get mad. It's like polka dot patterns. I just want plain, and they're not available. People like it sells out. Sometimes you want a push up too.
You need better bras.
Push up.
Yeah, you can't go to Kmart and stuff. They're not.
She's actually Googling it because she's like, she'd shove it in my face and be like,
have you tried H&M, Ash? Because they do make larger sizes and they're typically good. They're the bras that I have and they don't snap easily. Or at least I brought them a few years ago. So maybe right now the material is not good and they snap like this, but
it's a locomotive. It's a train.
I thought she was Googling.
It's a train.
Bras. And she's Googled a train for the bra size.
The train.
You know what I think brands should do? I think they should have a stamp on their website saying, "We are here for the big titty committee." And I think that's a way to know that they also supply bras for the big titty committee.
Yeah,
and including the itty bitty committee.
I don't know if there's a place that does the range of itty bitty to large. I mean, probably like maybe will be like, you know, Honey Bidet and stuff like that, but really like good fitted without the wiring and stuff. Like I feel like Pepper itself is just itty bitty, and I find them quite good. I feel like there's bigger.
I'm glad you found something.
Yeah, it took me a while.
I know the struggle.
I just never wore anything, but I know that that's not necessarily a
Oh, you can not wear anything.
Yeah,
people do. I mean, you keeping up with the cave. Kendall Jenner does it, so you can go ahead and free the nip.
Yeah,
but they just, I mean, people have a problem with the nipple in general, but a bigger woman with. Isn't my nose?
No, it's just some mascara.
I thought so because I can feel it leaking from my eyes. My eyeball hurts.
Okay. You're good now.
Yeah. When they see the big titty committee wearing no bra, they lose their minds. You know the knock on wood thing? Like when they knock on their brain, they definitely wouldn't get an answer because they lose it when they see the big titty committee out with no bras and they see them being.
It would be annoying though. Like I don't mind people doing it. I love titties. Go for your life. But
that's absurd.
To her, like
when
in bras because they're so uncomfortable with like.
I get that.
Yeah.
But there are shirts that you can like. I like the shirts that actually provide, like, you know how you've got one on that has the padding? The padding So there are actual shirts that are kind of tight-ish, but they're comfortable and they sit them. So you don't need a bra. Right? But even finding that depends. It depends.
And sports bras?
It's just like, it's not inside.
No.
Sports bras, maybe?
Them as well sometimes, but the padding, I've only ever had sports bra where the padding comes out. So when you put it in the washing machine, it gets all like mumble jumbled and you've got to fix it.
Yeah, why don't they stitch it? Is it because boobs are different, so they want the movement? Like, what is that?
I don't know.
These ones, I'm putting my finger in the hole, and why is the hole like this? So you can't like.
Yeah,
it's frustrating being a woman.
It is so frustrating. And both spectrums, like it's so hard to find things that fit smaller chairs. So hard to find bigger chairs. Like it's such a range.
The itty bitty committee and the big titty committee need to get together and create bras for everybody.
And I wish like casual ones weren't like $100.
That's the other thing too. Yes,
like
don't need to be $100 to support your tits.
And just bikinis and stuff. I don't get why we pay more for less fabric.
Should do another episode on that.
Yeah, it'll just be the annoyance of being in the titty committee, any form of the committee.
Our petition.
Yeah, this is our petition. Make bras affordable because unfortunately you can't go out in society without wearing one. So if you're going to be like that, then make them affordable.
Right. And also include people who don't have the same size. Like there are women who have different size boobs in one body. So where do you get bras?
I have
That's
that
the
problem.
thing.
I have one bigger than the other.
Does like slight difference. Some might be a bit more drastic than others, but like that is a like natural thing.
Yeah.
And you should be able to change the cup size because you fluctuate. Women's weight fluctuates, including their cup size.
That was one thing when I got on the pill the second time.
Yeah.
My bosom's filled.
I haven't heard that word in a long time. I always thought that was the backside. At one point, I thought that was the butt. Yeah. Your bosoms.
They filled up a little bit, like they got fuller. And then along with that, obviously, it's a side effect that you gain a bit of weight. But at the time, I was on holiday, so I thought I was also gaining weight, but I think it was just like the holiday weight of like drinking alcohol,
And having a
which
good
bloats me
time.
anyway because of the IBS. And
Yeah.
although actually after surgery, my IBS has gotten a lot better. I'm not really feeling the symptoms of that as much, which just shows you how it does kind of connect with the endo, which was interesting. But yeah, that was one thing after the pill. My bosoms got bigger, and then I thought I was getting bigger, and then I got back from holiday, and it was all good. But I don't know what happened.
That's just a good advocation too, is that they fluctuate in health.
Yeah.
Health conditions make them fluctuate. So then you're going to get a different cup size. Yeah, I get that. I experience that too.
Yeah.
But my question to you that I'm going to try and ask. My question to you in professional mode, not looking. Is there anything you'd like to say to others?
That is so fast. I'm so sorry.
I'm trying to get it out.
Okay, let's take a breath.
Is there anything you'd like to say to others that are also struggling with endometriosis?
I think the main thing is to just trust your gut because you know your body better than anyone else could. And just surround yourself with the right resources, with the right people. If you're going to deep dive on information, try not to stress yourself out about it because every case can be different. Like you say, it's not linear. There's so many variations to things in general, let alone with chronic diseases like this, where, for example, with the IBS that I got, not necessarily everyone will get it. Some people will get anxiety, some people will get depression. There's so many variations of it, and the best thing you can do for yourself is, while your physical health is not necessarily at its best, try and keep your mental health as strong as you can throughout the whole process, no matter how hard it is, because that is the thing that will get you through it.
Yeah. That's good advice.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And my next question to you, what are you looking forward to the most this year?
There's a long way to go, huh? But like, I don't know, maybe
Already.
setting myself up for my goals. I've got my 3, 6, 12-month plan. I have to do math then. So kind of, moving towards those goals and making sure they go through is exciting as well as challenging. Also, Europe would be fun. Hopefully I'll actually get to go this year because I've had 2 trips cancelled. So third time's a charm.
It is.
Let's see how we go.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Where would you like
Bring
to
Nina
go?
back too if you go to Germany.
I think I'll go to Greece for a bit, to be honest.
Nice. That's
That would be
beautiful.
nice. Yeah.
I love
I
Greece.
haven't been. Yeah,
You can
it's
have
like
my big fat Greek wedding experience.
you'd have to come then.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone would have to come.
I'm gonna go to Germany
Japanese, I
first. I'm gonna go to Germany, take Nina out of Germany, and then come to Greece.
Yeah. Well, I think we go to Germany as well, so we'll meet up.
Yeah.
And then we'll
help her pack.
head out to Greece. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Like, what do you mean help me pack? I'm packed. Like,
You're waiting.
this is just like a green screen.
Honey, don't forget the plant
Yeah.
and the frame
Plant.
and the light. Pack it all up.
That's all. That's all that's set up right now.
Yeah, that's it. The bed is not there. It's a sleeping bag. Yeah.
That is so good.
That's awesome.
Take it on the road.
Yeah.
I do hope you have a fun time with whatever you do this year, whether it's going to Europe or, just whatever may come up. I hope you have a lot of success and happiness because that is what you deserve, especially after everything you've went through. You deserve a fun time. Fun is necessary in life, so have a lot of it this year.
Sanity.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. We got another.
You go for me. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I'm
gonna
Keep doing what you've been doing. I love listening to your voices.
Thank you. It's
Thank
nice.
you.
It's good to have support.
Yeah.
We enjoy enjoying you.
Why'd you have to make it weird, Ash?
We enjoy knowing that you enjoy us.
Yeah. That sounds better.
My eyes playing up as much now.
It's the freaking light, I swear.
But yeah, okay.
But,
Thank you. Did you want to say something, Ash?
Yes, yeah.
I just wanted to say thank you as well, Kat, for coming to our podcast today. It's been a lot of fun. It was an honor. And to all of you listening in or watching in, again, check out Joka Apparel. It'll be all in the description below. They have amazing designs. And yeah, it's going to be fun this year. And just thank you for being here today, Kat.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me. You got it. Good.
Yes, thank you to Kat for coming on and for advocating and spreading awareness. And you'll definitely hear from her again and her journey. So until then, bye everyone.
Bye.
Toodles.
Bye.